This is the second video of the series Transformation of a Bowl. In this video I will be making and applying the polymer base. In this project I work with two base layers. The first layer will be a narrow strip of gold. I always prepare my polymer in thin rectangular pieces so I can use them right away. In this case I need 2 pieces of gold to be able to cover the entire bowl. After making sure the 2 pieces will stay together, I will use a pasta machine to make a long thin strip. The pasta machine has different thickness settings. I am working my clay from thick to thin by adjusting the settings step by step, and sometimes folding the clay to make sure the strip won't get too wide. As the strip gets thinner, I have to be careful not to damage it. When I am done with the pasta machine, I have to trim the edges. I can do this after applying the strip to the bowl, but in my experience it is easier to do this on a flat surface and only trim the distortion made by the coating process. This particular gold polymer is quite sticky and the bowl doesn't need any preparation other than being clean to make it stick. Where the ends meet, it is a challenge to make the seam disappear. The best way to do this is cutting where the ends overlap and removing the excess on both sides. Then I can use my fingers and rubber tool to smoothen the seam. After making sure that all the clay sticks firmly to the bowl and most visible imperfections are gone, this layer is ready to cure in the oven. Meanwhile, I can work on my second base layer. This is going to be a 2-color Skinner blend, and because I want it to cover the complete bowl, I need a lot more polymer rectangles, 4 of each color. As you can see, I'm working with 2 shades of brown, which are going to make a beautiful blend. After I arranged 1 color in a big 2-layered rectangle, I make sure the pieces will stick together as best as possible. Then I use my ruler and hobby knife to divide it into 2 equal triangles. For the Skinner blend I just need 1 triangle, so the other I will put aside for now. The second color gets the same treatment. Big triangle, make sure it sticks together, and cut into 2 equal triangles. The 2 triangles are arranged to form a big rectangle again. On both sides of the rectangle I will trim off a small strip so the ends of the triangles do not meet. When I try to release the clay from the glass, you can see that in this stadium the clay breaks apart easily into individual pieces again. But putting it through the pasta machine just once will help to solve that problem. Now the blending process starts. I am folding the clay and then putting it through the pasta machine on the highest setting. This I will repeat about 30 times, and each time you will see the colors blend a little more. This is the result after putting it through the pasta machine about 10 times. 20 times, and after about 30 times I am happy with my blend. By putting the clay through the pasta machine each time on a smaller setting, I am creating a thin sheet of clay which I can wrap around the bowl. Although it looks big, the sheet isn't big enough to cover the complete bowl, so I made one sheet in advance. Now I am ready to cover the bowl, and with that also the first layer of baked golden polymer. After finding the right position, it takes a lot of stretching and smoothing to get the clay where I want it to. To make it easier to connect the two pieces of clay, I trim the ends into a straight line. And after a lot more stretching, smoothing and cutting, I am satisfied with the first piece. Then I get to repeat the process with the second Skinner blend, which I prepared before. I want to cover the bottom of the bowl completely and trim off any excess on top. And although I am planning to cut away lots of clay in a later stadium, there will be no unpleasant surprises if I do this part accurately now. Especially because I tend to change my vision during the development of my projects constantly. This was part 2 of transforming a bowl into a polyglass artwork. In the third part of the series, I will be making some decorative elements to add to the bowl. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you don't want to miss my next update, subscribe. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, or go to my website polyglassart.com.